Hello, I am Mr. Ramaraya Acharya, Associate Professor, Dr. G. Shankar, Government Women's First Grade College, Ajjarakadu, Udupi, Karnataka. In this video, we are going to discuss fiscal policy and its objectives and various components and instruments. The macroeconomic management depends upon two important policies. They are monetary policy and fiscal policy. Monetary policy refers to the policy of the central bank towards money supply. It attempts to stabilize the aggregate demand in the economy by influencing the availability or price of money, that is, the rate of interest in the economy. Thus, the monetary policy influences interest rate or cost and availability of credit. In general, it is the policy of the central bank towards money supply. The fiscal policy is nothing but policy of the government towards the public treasury. It aims at influencing aggregate demand by changing tax, public expenditure and public debt program of the government. So, the fiscal policy refers to the policy of the government towards the public revenue and public expenditure. This policy, also known as the budgetary policy, one of the major functions of the government is to stabilize the economy. The credit for using this kind of fiscal policy in the 1930 goes to the modern economist Lord J.M. Keynes. He discredited the monetary policy and propagated the fiscal policy is an instrument of economic growth. Meaning of fiscal policy. The word fiscal comes from the French word fisc, F-I-S-C, means state treasury. That is the place or mechanism of public fund collections and disbursement. The government frames a policy called budgetary policy or a fiscal policy. The fiscal policy concerned with government expenditure and government revenue. It refers to the policy of the government regarding the various components of public finance, namely public revenue, public expenditure, public borrowing and public debt management. In other words, the policy of the public authorities, say government, regarding raising of revenue, spending of revenue, borrowing of loans and management of fiscal administration together constitute the fiscal policy. Various definitions of fiscal policy. First one, Arthur Smithies defines the fiscal policy as a policy under which the government uses its expenditure and revenue programs to produce desirable effects and avoid undesirable effect on national income, production and employment. According to Harvey and Johnson M., the fiscal policy is defined as the change in government expenditure and taxation designed to influence the pattern and level of economic activity. Octo Extin defines the fiscal policy as changes in taxes and expenditure which aims at short-term goals of full employment and price level stability. various objectives. The first one, development of effective mobilization of resources. One of the main aim of fiscal policy is development by effective mobilization of resources. The principal objective of fiscal policy is to ensure the rapid economic growth and development. This objective of economic growth and development can be achieved mobilization of financial resources. The financial resources can be mobilized by taxation, public savings, private savings. Next one, efficient allocation of financial resources. In economics, resources are scarce, wants are unlimited. We have to economize the resources. We have to use the limited, scarce resources in an efficient manner. These resources are allocated for the developmental activities, which includes expenditure on railways, infrastructures, etc., while non-developmental activities include expenditure on defense, interest payment, subsidies, etc. But generally, the fiscal policy should ensure that the resources are allocated the generation of goods and services which are socially desirable, which must be used by majority of the people. Inequalities of income and wealth. The important objective of fiscal policy is to remove the economic inequalities. We have to reduce the gap between rich and poor, haves and have-nots, so that the burden of taxes generally fall on the rich people. That means we have to tax more on the rich people and gives various types of subsidies, incentives to the poor people. The price stability and control of inflation. Economic fluctuations are more common in unplanned economy. Fluctuations occurs in the form of booms and depressions or inflation and deflations. The government always aim to control the inflations by reducing the fiscal deficit, by introducing the various tax saving schemes, productive use of financial resources, etc. Employment generation. The another aim of fiscal policy is create more and more employment opportunities in the economy and thereby reduce the problem of unemployment in the economy. Investment in the infrastructure has resulted in direct and indirect employment. Lower taxes and duties on small scale units encourage more investment and consequently generates more and more employment in the economy. Sixth one, balanced regional development. The another aim of government is to create balanced regional development. There are various incentives from the government for setting up of projects in a backward areas such as cash subsidies, concessions in taxes, duties in the form of tax holidays, finance at concessional interest rates, etc. Correcting the deficit in the balance of payment. The balance of payment means the difference between the value of imports and value of exports in a year. In other words, it is the positive difference between the foreign receipt and foreign payment. The fiscal policy aims at correcting the disequilibrium in the balance of payment of a country Fiscal tools can be used for promoting export and regulating imports. Government can take various measures to boost the exports and control the imports. Thereby, it can correct the disequilibrium in the balance of payment position of a country. Eighth one, capital formation. Capital is very crucial for economic development. It is called the lifeblood of any economic activities. Capital formation means we have to create more productive capacity in the economy. In underdeveloped countries are trapped in vicious circle of poverty mainly on account of capital deficiency. A country is poor because it is poor. Capital is very scarce in underdeveloped countries. In order to increase the rate of capital formation, the fiscal policy must be efficiently designed to encourage savings, discourage and reduce spendings. Ninth one, increasing national income. So national income means total money value of goods and services produced by a country in a year. The fiscal policy facilitates the capital formation. This results in economic growth, which in turn increases the GDP, per capita income and national income of the country. Development of infrastructure. Economic development depends upon efficient infrastructural facilities. Government has placed the emphasis on the infrastructural development for the purpose of achieving the economic growth. The fiscal policy measures such as taxation generates revenue to the government. A part of the government revenue is invested in the infrastructural development. Due to this, all the sectors of the economy get boost. Finally, to improve the living standard of the people. The economic development measured in terms of the quality of the life or the standard of living of the people. The fiscal tools can be used to produce the supply social goods on a large scale. The investment go for socially desirable channels like health, medical facilities, education, housing, drinking water, sanitations, etc. Next aspect, the components of fiscal policy. There are 4 components of fiscal policies. They are tax policy, number 2 public expenditure, number 3 public debt, number 4 deficit financing. The first one, tax policy. Tax is a compulsory payment made by the people of a country to the government without expecting direct rewards. Taxes are of different types, mainly direct tax, indirect tax. In case of direct tax, the impact, the initial burden and incidence, the final burden fall on the same person. He cannot shift the burden of tax to somebody else. For example, the income tax, corporation tax, etc. Indirect tax means the impact and incidence, the initial burden and final burden fall on different persons. The burden can be shifted. The example, sales tax, GST, etc. Tax directly influence the consumption, the production, distributions, investment and other economic activities. During inflation, taxation should be raised to reduce the disposable income of the people. On the other hand, during the depression, the rates of tax should be reduced to leave more disposable income with people and increase saving and investment. The tax policy helps to achieve the following objectives: securing the resources to the government in the form of taxes or non-tax revenue. Second one, influencing the ability and willingness to work, save and invest. Next one, bringing about diversion of resources as between different employment and localities, regions. Fourth one, reducing the inequalities of income and wealth distribution. Fifth one, increasing output and income by mobilizing economic surplus. Public expenditure, second one. Public expenditure means expenses incurred by the government to promote the social and economic welfare of the people. The recent time, the public expenditure has been increasing tremendously. During inflation, the public expenditure must aim at restrict the government expenditure on unproductive channels. Whereas time of depression, public expenditure must be undertaken on a large scale. Public expenditure is significantly important for realizing the following objectives. First one, raising the aggregate demand by increasing the purchasing power. When government spends the huge amount of money in the economy, automatically the purchasing power of the people increases, thereby we can increase the aggregate demand. Encourage the private investment. Combating depressions. Promoting capital formation. Creating infrastructure. Expanding the public sector, government sectors. Accelerating the output and income by mobilizing the economic surplus. Rising the levels of output, income and employment. Next objective is attaining the social justice. Next, third one, public borrowing or public debt. Public debt refers to loan raised by the government. Government can raise the loan either internally or externally. Loan raised by the government from internal sources are called internal debt, whereas from external sources are called external debt. The public borrowing comprises debt incurred by the government, by the public, by the borrowing from the central bank, commercial bank, citizens, market, financial market, international financial institutions like IMF, IBRD, etc. Public borrowing as a tool of fiscal policy is helpful for achieving the following objectives. First one, controlling inflations. Second one, increasing capital formation. Creating infrastructures, meeting the war expenditure, development of key and basic industries like iron and steel industries, cement industries, etc. Increasing the rate of economic growth. Next one, deficit financing. Deficit financing refers to when the government expenditure is greater than government revenue, there is a deficit. That deficit is called budgetary deficit. The filling of budgetary deficit is called deficit financing. In advanced countries, government fill the budgetary deficit in the form of public borrowing, public loans. In underdeveloped countries, government fill the budgetary deficit by printing the currency notes. As a tool of fiscal policy, deficit finance helps to achieve the following objectives. It reduces the dependence on taxation. It helps to finance war expenditure, mobilize the idle, unutilized, underutilized resources for economic development, provide an easy and flexible source of revenue to the government, helps to tackle the problem of depressions, stimulate the aggregate demand and private investment. The above components of fiscal policy constitute the operations of public finance. These operations have profound impact on investment, production, employment, income, etc. Thank you.